Anyway, after this Woody thing, and we're gonna get to Woody again afterwards, but Gunna's lawyer actually dropped a new statement. This is their second statement trying to clarify what Gunna did. They're now saying that Gunna is not telling, right? So essentially, I think it was OK Player or something like that. Gunna out for plea. It's a recent article. Let me see if I can just Gunna. All right, yeah, I think it was OK Player. Yeah. So there's an OK Player article where people are trying to, like, you know, break down, did he snitch, blah, 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 da, 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 da. Gunna's lawyer put out this, you know, his first statement. So Gunna's first statement, actually there's three statements. Gunna put out a statement, his lawyer put out a first statement, then now his lawyer put out a second statement. So this was what Gunna put out his statement when he first took the plea, but he didn't know there was going to be a video. While I've always agreed to be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear, I've not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, and have not agreed to testify, be a witness against any party in the case, and actually have no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. Okay, then pretty much there was another, you know, denial made by his lawyer, and his lawyer is Steve Sado. I remember I told you he's the guy who helped T.I. beat that case, right? Here we go. So this is what his lawyer put out, and he put this out in December. Gunna did not snitch to get out of jail. He has said nothing and is not cooperating. His plea statement cannot be used in court against any other defendant, so please stop spreading lies, okay? Yeah. This was a statement by Gunna. When I became affiliated with YSL, I didn't consider it a gang, more like a group of people. It's kind of interesting because this whole statement was thrown out the window when we saw Gunna literally on camera. Gunna plea. Here we go. Yeah, I can't hear it.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocodone, methamphetamines, and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. YSL as a gang must end. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody kind of acknowledges that without that statement, we would have believed this press release and Gunna's career would have been on the up. But we saw the video. Now, here's a second statement from the lawyer. It says, yo, after reading Mrs. Wicker's outstanding, insightful article, I'm obliged to say for the record one more time, Gunna has never been interviewed by or cooperated with law enforcement or prosecutors in the RICO case, nor have his attorneys proffered information on his behalf. What was said at his Alford plea was solely to resolve his own case. It cannot be used by the prosecution against Young Thug or any other defendant. Right? You know, his lawyer's sticking to it. They're saying he never was interviewed. They're saying he's never said anything. And they're pretty much saying that he would be refusing to say anything incriminating against Young Thug. Again, here's the funny part about this. I don't think that it's us that like us civilians that this lawyer has to try to convince. It's the reason why Lil Baby unfollowed him. It's the reason why everybody has stepped away from Gunna. It's the reason why nobody's saying welcome home, Gunna. You know, they say the streets talk and Young Thug is on the phone with people all the time. Nobody's welcoming Gunna with open arms. Big Hugh said welcome home and then deleted it. Meek said welcome home, Gunna deleted it. Nobody's accepting him. So again, If you know, I think people like Gunna enough that even if he did tell, like who knows if he told, right? But like, let's say he did tell, right? Which, by the way, some people, if I go according to the super gangsters, just that video alone where he's in court where he says, "I know information about his crimes," it's telling. That's what people say, right? It's telling, right? Anyway, let's say we all want to believe that he didn't tell, right? Gunna is so likable that I believe that if the rest of the gangster rappers just embrace him back, I think people will forget it. Here's the thing. If nobody stands with Gunna, he's not going to have a good time, right? He needs people to stand with him. And right now, I think he's cooked up an album. From what I heard, he has an album ready. He has an album discussing a bunch of shit. He got an album. He got some shit to say. But there's nobody down to stand with him. So it becomes one of those situations where, yeah, how good could you make your case is if everybody's leaving you on an island. So I think Gunna is kind of in limbo, waiting to see what happens with Thug. I think he's praying that Thug, gets a favorable outcome, or he's probably praying that, despite what might happen to Thug, that Thug has some type of grace for him because he's not the only one who took a plea. There's other people who took a plea. And I think, if you ask me, this is just my thoughts. I think if Thugger gets 20 years, right, or 15 years, I think Gunna will try to proposition this offer to them. Yo, how about if y'all give me that cosign that I need to get the snitch thing off of me, to get that jacket off of me, I'll give a bigger percentage of my earnings to Thugger, who might be out of bounds, who might be out of play. Now, from what I'm hearing from the label side, a lot of people believe that Gunna is going to be seeking to leave YSL. Just because the relationship is fractured, it's just no way you go through this and come out on the other side where one guy is apparently looking at decades in jail and you came out in 6 months with a bad bitch. It's probably not going to work. So what's probably going to happen, he's under YSL, that's under 300. His contract is probably going to get negotiated in a way where there's either a buyout or it's going to go to Atlantic Records. So a lot of people believe that Atlantic Records might have Gunna soon, whenever he's going to release it, just because based on, the turmoil and strife between everybody in YSL and what's going on with Thug, it wouldn't be in his best interest to have YSL, the label, still working his project. However, if we look back at what Gunna said on his Instagram post, which I don't think he deleted, he's still claiming YSL, right? He's still claiming, he said YSL, the label. Now, is it possible that Gunna is just going to try to make the excuse to say, yo, I didn't sign up to being in no gang. Like, yeah, I'm a street dude. By the way, if you don't know, apparently they say he's a part of the Shady Park Crips. He's a Crip. So, Young Thug and them is supposedly a blood, right? He's a Crip. Maybe he comes out with some type of, narrative to say, yo, I'm a member. I'm a gang member. I'm a street nigga. I wasn't doing street shit here. And I came here to do music. Like, if I was going to do street shit, I wouldn't join YSL because they bloods. If I'm going to do street shit, I would just do street shit with my Crip niggas. Maybe that's what he comes out and says, right? I will tell y'all this. The witness board right here was crazy. Like, you can't have the witness board just right there. That's this little old suspect board you see everywhere. You feel me? This got pictures of people, you know what I mean? This whose door is going to get kicked down pretty soon by the government. However, here's the thing. Some artists, I think they're playing the limbo game. Mad artists are playing the limbo game. I've talked to some artists privately. They said, nah, right now the wave we ain't rocking with Gunna. But they won't speak on it publicly. Only person who I heard speak on it was Schmirk. Schmirk, he built different. Right? And also, Schmirk's fans are used to him for a particular thing. You know what I mean? So, again, he had to speak out about it. But anyway, this is the second time. And let me tell you this. This is going to get to a point where, like the old saying goes, how does it go again? Uh oh, what is it called? Doth protest too much, which means like the more explaining you do, the more guilty you seem, right? You know, it's the old saying from like Shakespeare or some shit like that. So the more he explains, the more guilty he seems, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, I think Gunna's in a tough position, but I do hear that he has a full album ready. He has a full album ready. So we will see how he's gonna deal with that. And here's also another point that we should have. And whenever Gunna speaks about this, I hope he probably like internalizes this too. You know, when it comes to this snitching thing, I keep telling you this is a scarlet letter. Everybody is moving the goalposts on what snitching is, right? Some people used to say snitching is getting up on a stand and pointing a nigga out. Some people say no, it's just even telling the police anything. Some people said, yo, niggas say if you say good morning to the cops, you're snitching, right? So I'm wondering if Gunna is going to come out and be like, yo, you know what? All of this stuff that we rapped about, talk about snitches, this and third, that shit was wrong because look at what they're doing to me. This is turned into a witch hunt where everybody wants to find the snitch, and now it's making it to a place where people can't defend themselves in a court of law. Maybe he comes out like that and say, yo, I think his first interview he's gonna do with his lawyer. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's gonna talk, and then his lawyer is gonna explain a bunch of legal stuff. And the lawyer's gonna be like, no, this is why it's not snitching. You get what I mean? So who knows? Anyway, I think it's time we get to the YSL Woody situation. Oh boy.